Next, a case of chimp medicine. A new study has found that wild chimpanzees eat plants that have pain-relieving and antibacterial properties to heal themselves. It's according to scientists who described their detective work in the forests of Uganda, observing animals which appeared injured or sick to work out whether they were self-medicating with plants. When an injured animal sought out something specific from the forest to eat, the researchers collected samples of that plant and had it analysed. Well, I spoke to the lead researcher on the project, Elodie Freiman, who is from the University of Oxford, and she told me how the study came about.
So this was part of my PhD research project. And so what I was interested in doing was expanding what we know about chimpanzee medicinal repertoires. So we know chimps self-medicate, but right now, before I began my PhD, we really were sort of limited in which species of plants we knew that they were using. So I wanted to work at my field site in the Budongo Forest in western Uganda, and I wanted to identify some potential new medicine for the chimps.
So just explain a little bit more about how you found that, because you monitored the chimps and saw which plants they ate if they were ones that they didn't usually eat.
Yeah, that's right. So I was doing behavioral research with the wild chimp, which meant I was living out in the Budongo Forest. I lived there for about 8 months total, and I was following the chimps every day, trekking in the forest with them and a team, and we were writing down sort of any unusual feeding behaviors that we observed. And we were also simultaneously keeping track of the health of these chimps through non-invasive monitoring methods, so collecting samples to get a sense of whether or not they might have a bacterial infection, a high parasite load, or also if they were showing any wounds or injuries. And from there, we would pay sort of closer attention to their diet, what they were eating, and then collect any suspect plants that we saw them consuming.
And what sort of things were the plants helping to heal in the chimps?
Yeah, so our paper runs through several anecdotes of chimps with a wide range of different kind of illnesses. Some had high parasite loads, some had signs of maybe a bacterial infection, and others had kind of wounds or injuries. And when we took the plant samples to a lab in Germany and had a team of pharmacologists there look at the actual medicinal properties, we found that 88% showed strong antibacterial properties and 33% showed strong anti-inflammatory properties. So possibly, it looks like with all of our evidence kind of compiled together, it looks like the chimps were seeking out in some of these cases, these plants with particular medicinal properties to treat their ailments.
And was that a surprise to you?
Yes and no. Yes, in that, again, we had sort of been limited in what we know about the ingestion-based, so plants that chimps eat, their medicinal repertoires. But at the same time, chimps are incredibly smart. They live in the forest. They have, they've been surrounded by these trees and these resources, and it makes perfect sense to me that they would have developed the ability to identify medicines that they need to survive.